Hello, this video is on how to branch better and the basics all the way through some kind of advanced moves. So, I'm going to start off with the basics, move on to some intermediate stuff, move on to the hard stuff. The basic stuff is just going to be knowing how far you can jump and kind of understanding that all trees are the same and just kind of being able to connect branches together so I can get from point A to point B using just branches. The more intermediate stuff will be, I don't know, some more fancy stuff, nothing incredibly hard. Some of the stuff looks hard, but in reality it's not that hard. And then some of the really hard stuff is, well, no one's amazing at it because it's really hard stuff. So most of the really hard stuff are things that are just really hard to replicate. Like, I don't know, let's say jump from here if I'm being chased by a monkey and I just do this. I can do that, and if you've got a few tries, you could probably do it. But if I've never done that before, and I'm chasing a monkey, and I see him do that, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to do this, who knows, maybe I miss. It's all about losing the monkey. So starting off with the basics, just going to be being able to estimate where you can jump to. So starting over here, from here, I know I can make it to that branch jumping. I know I can land my body on that branch. I also know that I can jump so that my hands can catch the branch in front of me, or even behind me if I want to. This is what I mean by in front of me. So I kind of have to reach out to grab it, then landing my body on it. It's exactly what it sounds like, landing my body on it. And going behind me. That was a pretty poor example. Going behind it a little bit. Now, there's reasons for all of those, which will be covered in intermediate and advanced, but for landing kind of behind it and catching it with your hands allows for really easy, like, swinging to the next branch. So you don't have to kind of catch your body on it and then swing your hand. You can just kind of eyeball it. When you land here, it gives you room to swing your arm. If you land your body on it, it doesn't really give you a whole lot of flow in swinging your arm. You still can. It's harder. Then going behind, it doesn't really help you swing. So like if I'm going to here, I can do that and it works. But going behind would be for something more advanced like that, or I don't know, like hitting off sideways so you can do some funny stuff. Who knows? You can do whatever you want with it. So anyway, with the estimating jumps, you need to be able to eyeball quickly how far you can go. So you can start off by identifying like where do you think is just about the farthest. So you can just pick a branch if you're practicing on figuring out distances. Say, okay, I know I can't make it to that branch. That's crazy far. That one's really far. I probably can't go to that. That one I can probably almost get to. I can get up there. I know I can make it to that branch. I could probably make it there, maybe make it there. Just start identifying things like that. Then test it. I know I can't get to there. No point trying. That one's kind of close. Let's see if I can get it. Nope, my hand kind of disappeared, but I couldn't get it. So I know I can't reach that far. Okay, I wasn't sure if I could jump this high. Let's see. Oh, I can. And then that branch, I know I can get there. Let's prove it. And it's all about kind of working. I know I can get to this branch, and then, okay, where can I go from here? Can't get there. I can go there. When I was just over there, I can go there, not there, not there. I can go to that branch. And kind of just picking your way along, figuring out what branches you can and can't get to. Once you start getting like the eyeballing down, so knowing what branches you can get to, it's time to start working on being more fluid with your branching. So it's not anything crazy smooth or crazy special. It's just being able to not need to stop here, look around, pick a branch, go to it, and then go to the next one. It's just being able to kind of flow along and make it nice and smooth. So in order to do that, you also have to think about positioning on the branch. So let's say I want to do just this really basic, easy, kind of run along to here. And then let's say do it back. So notice where my hands landed. I didn't overshoot it and then kind of turn around and then hit it, because then look where I am. I got a little stuck there. Turn around, hit it, and I can't see where I'm going. So you need to think about your hands. Okay, so you got to think to yourself, okay, I don't want to go over it because then I have to turn around and hit it or look down. I want to see where I'm going. So you can try landing your body on it, which works. Then you kind of have to look where you're going to make sure your body gets on there. Because if it doesn't, you did it wrong. So what I like to do is I like to kind of jump before the branch a little bit, so I have to catch it with my hands. Maybe not that extreme, but I go from here, and then I have to reach out to grab it. Not an incredible amount, just a little bit. Just enough so that I can catch it and then swing directly to it. So it's like on the ground when you're running. It's running along the ground like this. You're not like putting your hand at your body and then slapping it every time your body gets there. You're reaching out and you're pulling it back. Same thing with branches. You want to kind of reach out and pull it back to you. So it's just like running, but you're running over air. So now try to work on it. So aim for slightly before, and then reach out, catch it, and then immediately swing yourself to the next one. It'll probably take some practice, and be kind of hard to do, but you will get the hang of it way faster than you may be expecting. So I had no idea what I was doing, and then in about a day, I could do something at just about this difficulty. Just from knowing that I could just slide myself across branches and pick where I'm going to go, then aim slightly before, and then go nice and smooth across it. That's just about it for the super beginner stuff. Moving on to the next bit. Every single tree in Gorilla Tag is the same. They're all identical. Except for that tree right there with Treehouse. It's a little different in that it's missing a couple branches, but it's still really similar. Other than that, every single tree is the same. Some of them have platforms built into them. Some of them have nothing on them and are really tall. Some of them are really short, like that tree over there. Some are huge, like that tallest tree over there. And you just have to understand that they're all the exact same, and all the trees have the same branches. So that branch right there that I'm pointing at, that is the same branch there and the same branch there. It's the lowest branch on the tree. Now if I jump onto it, they're all the exact same. They both go out like this, in, straight, and then go to a point. They all do that. This one's a little longer, but it has the exact same pattern to it. This one's a little shorter, has the same pattern to it. Even this really tiny tree, exact same thing. It's just smaller. So if you know how to effectively climb this tree, then you can climb that tree, you can climb that tree, that tree, that tree, every single tree. So this is called scaling. You probably know what it is, know what it does. You can do it from anywhere on a tree realistically, but probably the easiest way is right here under these branches or over here. Whatever works. The whole point of scaling is just to get up the tree, so it doesn't really matter how, it just matters that you do. That was a pretty basic way of scaling. Probably the easiest way to do it is to find the lowest branch and then go just almost directly under it, just a little bit to your right, just a little bit. And then if you can reach up, just go straight to this branch or hit off here and then grab it. Then hit off here and then grab here, or you can just go straight up. It doesn't matter. I like to hit off this. It makes me get a little higher. Then you can go up to here. Then this gets a little difficult. You may have to hit that twice to get up there. Get up here. And from there, another one hit. And you're done. So you can do that on every single tree. I'm going to keep doing it from the same spot. Maybe that isn't the easiest way. So you can do that. You can do it other ways. So let's see. The way I probably do it most is right here, but this is a bit harder. It's significantly faster than some of the other ways, though. It gets me to the top. It's all about pushing yourself up, especially when you're on the tree. You're not smacking yourself away to grab a branch. To push straight down. Straight down. Not even like into the tree. You just go straight down. On those, you kind of push yourself out, but when you need more than one, that hits just straight down and then out. It'll make sense once you start doing more of it, and I can make a separate little bit on it later. Some more of the intermediate stuff. Not necessarily routes, but more ideas. Because every tree is the same, all the branches are the same. So on this branch, you can't go to all the same trees on a branch down here, but branches like this branch with a little side branch, they can all be used the same. On every single one of them, you can do this, do a branch above it. Do that on this tree, so it's the exact same. May look a little different because the trees are facing opposite directions, but same thing. Over here, same thing. You can do it on every tree, every single tree. It also means that you can use them in harder ways. So this would be a little bit more advanced. You hit off the side. You do that. You can do that on every single tree too, because they're all the same. You can kind of fling yourself off. You can use it to get to a different tree by hitting off of it kind of away. That takes some finesse. That's a good bit harder, but it works. You can also use this bottom branch, but that's way harder. It's just because it's a smaller target. Some other stuff like in the how to play ground video, that stuff is all considered more intermediate, and you don't really, there's not really much other than like the flow of branching, getting the flow of moving around down. In order to start getting better, you should pick a few, not just one, like a couple, maybe like 3 or 4. If you can remember more, then do 5 or 6 different routes you like to use, all starting from different positions. So right here, I have a bunch of options. I can go that way, that way, that way, that way. I can go every single way. And I know how to go every way. I can wall climb, wall run over there, or over there. I have a video on that. I can scale that tree. I can scale this tree, because I already showed you that all trees are the same. I can go to that tree and do something, or I can go to there. One of my favorite things to do, this is hard, I can just go over here. Just do that. It looks kind of difficult, but you'll get the hang of it. And let's say you can't do that, so instead, from here you make something that's like, I don't know, going over here, end of this branch, hitting off the wall, then running over here. I don't know. It's your routes. You can figure them out. You can go into a private session, or you can go into a public and see what other people are doing and try to copy it. It's an infinite amount of things to do. This is one that is really easy. I'm going to show you. Starts from up here, a bunch of different ways to get here, but you can also see most of the map from here, so it's a good place to kind of sit and watch for a second if you don't know what's going on. Just over here, end of this branch, jump across, hit off the tree, land over here. That takes some finesse, but for the hitting off the tree, when your hand's hitting it, just look where you want to go. If I want to go to that branch, I make sure I'm hitting it, and then I look where I want to go. Makes sense? And then from here, go over to the edge of this branch. That jump is a little hard if you don't know how to jump, but if you watch like the beginner bit, you should be fine. Then jump over here, then up here, here, and over here. Now you're on top of treehouse, which is nice. And then from here, you can do a bunch of things. Let's see. Let me show you another route from Stump. So from Stump, there's a bunch of places you can go. My personal favorite is over here. This may seem a little weird, but when you get to the end, just go over here. This jump is hard. It takes a couple tries, but if you can get the flow of branching down, you can probably get the hang of it. Go up. Once your hand's about to hit it, and you know for a fact that your hand is going to hit it, and your hand's not going to be over there. So you know for a fact your hand's going to hit it, look at where you're going, jump that direction, and catch yourself here. And then go over to this branch, and then you can keep going in a circle. Everything works. It's all great. Find your own little routes. Maybe it's something as simple as running up here and then going to this branch, and then this branch, and then here. Who knows what it is? You just gotta play around. That is pretty much it for the intermediate bit. Alright, so the hard stuff is, well, it's hard. It's not going to be a bunch of routes, at least right now or in this portion or video. It's more stuff that's universal that you can do on every tree that is kind of hard. Most of it's universal, and it can be applied anywhere on almost any branch. Some of them harder on other branches. First thing, a lot of you have probably seen it before. That. Just that. It's that easy. It's a hospital flip. It looks kind of easy. It is kind of easy to do your first time, but once you're trying to get like really precise, right up to certain branches that are right out of kind of reach. It gets kind of difficult. You can do it anywhere, of course, but I don't know. It's hard. It's confusing, though. So if I'm just going around and doing my normal branching stuff, and all of a sudden, boom, that's really hard to follow in comparison to if I just ran right over here and then I did that. It's pretty obvious where I'm going. If I'm chasing someone, I see them put their hand here and turn this way. I can tell they're going to go this direction, even if I'm standing all the way back here. If I see someone go under, I don't know where they're going to go because their whole body has to move. So they could be going up here, up to this branch. They could be going even somewhere like over here. Can't really tell unless you have a really good eye or have a tell or something. But yeah, you can do it on every branch. I just did a little bit of it there while I was talking, but you really can just do it on kind of every branch within reason. Of course, you can do it on some branches way easier than others. So these angled branches, it's probably the easiest to do, like right here. Stick my hand out, grab it, and pull in. Again, kind of easy there. It gets harder when you're going to kind of these flatter branches. You kind of have to hit yourself out or do that. A great thing I like to do is just occasionally substitute it for a random branch. So if I'm trying to do this all the way to here, I can change that up a lot by just adding in some kind of well-timed hospital flips. I kind of messed it up there, but you get the point. Well, that's just about it for that one. Let's see. Something else kind of funny has to do with these branches. These little like angled bits. They're on every tree. It's on the third tallest or fourth tallest branch, if you're counting that one below. You can do a lot of things with it. Every tree you can do this because there's always a branch above it. Some just maybe higher than others. You can go backwards, which is kind of cool. So the way you do this, I like to come in from this way, but you can come in from this way. It's just harder. Just go up, you put your hand, you plant it there, you turn, and you just look and push yourself. Then I always like to go to this branch. If you do that, you can go to a higher branch or even another tree, but when you're doing it faster, whoopsies, when you're doing it faster, it's always easier to go to the same branch, because then it always feels kind of universal, in a sense. But, so one thing I like to do on this one in particular, it's that. You can do that with all of the branches. There's just not always somewhere to go. So like here, I can go to here, or let's see, over here, I can use it to get to this tree. You can do it with every single branch. Sometimes it's just not, I don't know, not practical compared to some other methods you can use. Like if I am right here and I want to get to this branch, that's the fastest way. It's not better for me to do that unless I want to be really, really fancy about it. So the way you do this is by, well, just kind of putting your hand on it and hitting off of it. It sounds really easy, might be a little harder. The way this is able to work is because it goes up and then there's a slight kind of in slant to the right and it goes back. So if I have the tree, trunk of the tree behind me, the branch is pointing to left, that means that right here there's always going to be a little slant away from me, just a little bit. So the other branches are kind of straight. When I'm looking right here and I'm going to this bit, it's slanted ever so slightly away from me so I can hit off of it that way. So it's kind of like the wall running stuff in the wall running video, but just kind of put your hand on it and push off. And you can do it on a lot of branches. So you do it here most of the time. Let's see, can you go anywhere cool here? Yeah, kind of. Over there. When the angles kind of get a little funny like this one, you have to go almost out on this, you might not be able to do it as well. You can still do it. It's just way harder. Let's see. So that's just about it for that. Of course, there's combining it all together. So being able to loop branches together, doesn't matter what branch, just being able to do it and then throw in some of those kind of funnier little techniques like the hospital flip, or just a kind of like funny branch whenever you need it, or like a little swing right there, or going down here, just being able to implement it into your branching makes you a lot better when you don't really need to think about it, and you can just say, okay, I'm gonna hospital flip right there, and you just do it on command every single time. Makes you a lot better than if you had to sit here and think, can I do it there? I can do it there. So you just gotta speed it up, keep things fluid. If you're having a hard time with it, go back to the basics, pick a couple routes that are, I don't know, a couple routes that are easier to follow, easier to do. Maybe have like one hospital flip in it, or one like funny hit like that. You know, just depends. Let me think for a second. All right, we'll go from up here. And last but not least, just some kind of harder-ish routes that you can do. So I showed some beginner ones. I didn't really show any intermediate ones, because going from beginning to intermediate is simply fluency. Being able to get faster, get smoother with your branching, that is the entirety of intermediate. But for hard, and it gets harder, you're already fluid, you're learning new stuff, you want to learn new stuff. So I have one of my favorite kind of harder routes starts on the top of gazebo, so I have a bit on video on all of the kind of ground area around here. I highly suggest that. So you jump from here, you're gonna swing, do this. Then I like to work in another one here. Oh, got a little stuck. Go to the end, and again, swing your arm out, catch yourself, and then from here, there's a lot more freedom. You can kind of pick the branches, pick where you want to go. This is still my favorite way, right here. You can either go up here, you can keep going somewhere else, but I don't know. I like going around here, just kind of doing it fast. Not really. It doesn't really matter how you do it. Oh, usually I'm a little better on the walls. Doesn't really matter how you do it. I just always start in the same place and end in the same place. Sometimes I try to go higher. Sometimes I try to go lower. So I got a little distracted there, but the whole thing, hospital flip here, over to this branch, go to the end, flick yourself to here, this branch, up. This is a little tricky because you have this branch here, so you need to, this is why it's hard. If that branch wasn't there, it would be easier. You kind of need to keep it tight when you pull yourself around. So doing that a little faster. Got to keep yourself close to it. Then from here, a couple options. Just coming in from over there, here, swing yourself here, couple options. You can go up, you can go down. I'm going to show the down because it's more fun for me. Go down to here, and out to this branch. You have another couple options. That tree, the wall. Over here, this is my favorite. Just kind of reach around, grab that, or you can do it with the same arm. If you come flying around like this, you can kind of just swing your arm out. It's hard, and you may need to kind of hit off the side of the tree, whatever works. go to here. Then from here, you can either go up or continue back on this path that I was on a second ago. I prefer going on this path. So you just go along this, and then again, you can go down or up. This time I'm going to go down. Just these branches right over to here. Now you're over here. Bunch of places you can go. I like doing this. It seems a little weird, but it works, trust me. And then you're right back where you started. I think that is just about it. Some important things to remember. Just all trees are the same. So if you figure out something cool like a little jump, kind of like that, or a little jump to the same branch of the same tree. So, for example, I don't know, something like this. You do that, and then you go back to the same branch of the tree. I messed it up. Something like this. Hold on. Something like this where you go from the same point on a tree right over here. Like you figure something like that out, it can be done on any tree. Some trees it may be a little harder because there's branches in the way or something, but you can still do it on every tree. Some other things, keep it fluid. If you're having a hard time doing something a little more complicated and you're starting to lose fluency, then stop doing it and work on your fluency. You should be able to make those split-second decisions and not worry about, do I want to go to this one? I should have gone up. You know what, I'm going to stop and I'm going to go up. You got to stick with it. If I'm doing this and I want to end up down there by the campfire, and I just figure, you know what, I'm going to stay up here. This is good, staying fluid. Then it's all good. You can work your way down, but it doesn't matter as much how you get there. It's just that you did it nice, fluid, smooth, for lack of a better word. Just had fun doing it. I'm not waiting. Okay, this way. That branch over here, why not? This one here. I'm not taking that split second. I'm just deciding as I hit the branch, because I know I can do all this. So I just kind of pick the branch and then I stick with it. And if something happens, adapt to it. Don't try, if I fall from here, you don't need to try to get back up to this branch to continue where you left off. If I fall from here, I'm going to go over here and, I don't know, do something over here, this little jump. I don't know, figure something out. Yeah, and that's about it. Yeah. Monkey.